Get Sports Focus here, Alfred Joaquin with Coach Eric Washington Jr.
Hey, how you doing, Al? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. So tell the audience where we're at right now. This is a really cool place.
Right now we're in Sharp Image Barbershop. I hope I said it right. Sharper Image Hair Care. And, you know, just one of the pillars in our community, this barbershop has been here, man, for about 50 years. And yeah, and David Harper's a good friend of mine. He cuts my hair, cuts my son's hair, and he's been doing a great thing in the community for a lot of years now and was able to purchase this location. And, you know, he has something special on Friday nights for the young teens, you know, really getting those guys, building a brotherhood with those kids, you know, trying to eliminate the gangs and the BS in the community and just bring them all together here in this shop.
Okay, we're going to have to come by here in one of those sessions.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And get some shots and give this place more publicity.
Yes, sir.
This is awesome, man. Well, you know, like I always tell, let's see, you are the 5th coach that I've talked to, that I'll be talking to.
Yes,
we're talking right now. Let's do this. Let's start with your background, where you're from, where you grew up, and, you know, kind of talk about your athletic background.
Okay, well, I'm born and raised right here in East Palo Alto, East Menlo Park area. Grew up in this neighborhood, went to Woodside High School. After Woodside, went to College of San Mateo, earned a scholarship to Fort Hays State University where I played ball. And, you know, came back and just been working, you know, started my own company, Elite Athletes Journey, in 2014, just to provide kids with an opportunity for training and overall fitness. Getting their mind, body, and spirit right. And
you started a really cool thing. I mean, it's amazing how someone like you can have an influence to a lot of the kids out there. What's unique about what you're doing, about your company, your organization?
Well, the unique thing about my company is I'm not in it for money. No money at all. I mean, there's a million ways to make money. I'm in it to make a difference in the community. We lost a huge wave of kids over the last 10 years to, you know, gun violence, the streets, selling drugs, whatever. And I wanted to be a person that these kids can come talk to, you know, and just be open. I'm very open, very transparent with my guys. I speak in a different way. I'm young. I feel young. I feel 25. I'm 37 years old, but I feel 25.
You're not 37.
Yeah, I'm 37 in
Wow.
1980, September 2nd, 1980. And so, you know, I serve as a mentor. I've been through a lot. I wasn't, you know, a street thug per se, but, you know, I ran the streets and stuff and got into a little bit of trouble. And, you know, I didn't take the straight road to get here. You know, my journey, I've kind of been all over the place. But, you know, as I've gotten older, I've learned and wanted to focus and really give these kids an opportunity to not have to go through the stuff that I went through, you know.
When you were growing up, what was the biggest challenge for you?
For me, girls. My biggest challenge was girls. I mean, you know, I was always attracted to girls since a young age, and I feel like it was a distraction as well. You know, it was a gift and a curse. I speak very well, and I'm able to just, you know, entertain any crowd. So, you know, but I've had other friends that had other issues. I know friends that, you know, were homeless, that, you know, that had to sell drugs because they didn't have food or their mom was out on dope and different stuff like that. You know, I have both of my parents, not in the same home, but I have relationships with both of my parents. So, you know, I made it work. We all had, you know, different kind of struggles. I wouldn't say we were middle class or anything like that, no. And I wouldn't say I wanted for anything, no. But, you know, I could have, you know, things could have just been a little bit different, made the ride a little bit smoother for me.
When you were in high school, when did you have the desire to keep going with football?
Probably, I don't know, maybe my freshman year of high school. when I realized I wasn't just a fat kid anymore. You know, in Pop Warner, I was one of those little fat kids. I played D-line. I was a starting D lineman and a backup running back.
You were too big.
Yeah, I was. I was wearing those sweat bags every week and, you know, drinking water all day and couldn't eat any food just to make weight. So it was probably my freshman year of high school. I had a great experience up there. Craig Nieves. Well, man, he's a great coach. He was crazy. We called him Rambo. But some of the stuff he used to make me do, and, you know, the way he held me accountable, it was, you know, it was really good.
So were you before Edelman, or?
I'm before Edelman. So I played with Edelman's brother in Pop Warner, and Edelman was he was on the younger. I played with his older brother, Jason.
Well, since you mentioned Pop Warner, right now there's a lot of news about youth football in California being, you know, banned.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's ridiculous. I think one of the things we need to do as coaches, administrators, and people on the boards of these leagues is, number one, these coaches need to be required to take heads-up certification. That's the first thing. A lot of these injuries are happening because you have people that have no knowledge on how to tackle or how to coach these kids, teaching these kids to tackle. Oh, lead with your head. Go in there and crack them, knock them out. Those aren't terms we should use when we're playing football, you know.
That is true.
Heads-up certification for a reason. Head up and wrap up, make the tackle.
And, I mean, you played since, what, you're 8 years old?
Yeah. You
look fine.
Yeah.
You sound fine.
Yeah. Well, I had some great coaches. Yeah. You know, from the Guidas in Redwood City to the Nicolopolises at Woodside to the Coach Owens, Coach Martinez, and those guys at CSM. I've been lucky enough to have some very great coaches.
So you went to college.
Yes.
You played college ball.
Uh-huh.
What attracted you to become a coach? Okay,
so we had this this thing we had to do to make money in the summer. And we ran a football camp for kids. And I got a chance to work with the 9 and 11-year-olds. And there were these two particular kids I would never forget. None of the other coaches on my team wanted to pick these kids. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with them? And I was in a predominantly white neighborhood, but these two kids were, you know, one was a white kid and one was a mixed kid. And they called these kids bad. They were terrible. They didn't listen, you know, all of this stuff. So I worked with these kids. We ended up winning. It was a 1 week, and then you reset and got another week. And so I had one kid the 1 week, then I had the other kid the next week. So we ended up winning 2 back-to-back championships with these kids. And their parents, these were single moms, asking me to train these kids. So I trained them and just developed a mentorship. And all these kids wanted was somebody to just talk to them. That's it. And so from that, I started thinking in my mind, oh, okay, well, if I'm, you know, pretty good with these kids, I know when I go back home, I'm going to be all right. You know, I can, you know, work with kids and really provide them with some tools that they can use.
That's awesome. And this was, how old were you, like 20, 22?
Like 22, yeah. I was like 22 years old.
And you were dealing with these high school kids?
Yeah.
Wow. I always thought that there's better connection with younger coaches and high school players.
Yeah.
It's just obvious.
Well, it's a mature thing as well, too. You have to be mature enough to understand. And, you know, I've gone through a few things over the years where I've had to step up my maturity level because I wasn't mature. I didn't handle things. I may have thought I handled them in the correct way, but I didn't.
Did you ever think when you were in high school that this was going to be the career path that you're going to be on?
Absolutely not.
Well, what was your dream job when you were in high school?
I mean, to be honest, I was a jock. It was football, and then a little bit more football. And as I learned a little bit more about the business, I wanted to get into communication and possibly being one of the talking heads on ESPN or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so how did you get on board with the CSM staff?
Well, man, it had been years.
That's a great program, by the way.
I've been trying to get on the staff for a while, and a couple of the guys, you know, I knew Omari Green, who's the defensive back coach, and the new head coach, Tim Tulloch. I've always had a great relationship with him. He was a position coach when I played at CSM, And I've always talked to those guys, and they told me, when an opening presents itself, just submit your resume, submit, what you have, and let me know. And so my name came up last year through Coach Owens, Larry Owens.
Yeah.
And he brought me in, and, things went great. And, asked me, did I want to coach the power backs? I had no idea what a power back was. When in my day, it was tight end, and that was it, tight end receiver. Now you got power back, which is like an H-back position. So it was fun, and I learned a lot in my first year.
When you've been in the game for a long time, and one of the questions that I like to ask is, what changes have you seen? Like, there's a lot of changes, but what's just talk about some of the major changes in the game that's gone on.
I guess with all the injuries and the concussion stuff going on, you find that, number one, we don't practice as much as we used to. We had double days, and we would be out there until it got dark.
Are you talking college now?
College. I'm talking college.
Okay,
I'm talking college. So now there's a lot more, safety. They're looking at, time, how much time is spent on the field. A few years back, we had a few guys, die from heat exhaustion and things like that. So it's a lot more time in the classroom teaching the specifics and watching film, getting to the little intricacies of the game, versus just running lap after lap or 100 after 100. It's more about film work, studying, understanding where you're supposed to be at the right time. Without
giving away any secrets about the CSM program, what do you guys do different, man? It seems like whenever I go there, it's like, this is like a major, just the way you guys run things. It's amazing. It's a huge. It's different from what is out there.
Well, honestly,
not just the field stuff, it's the off-field stuff that really stands out too.
I would honestly have to say it starts at the top, from the AD, the athletic director, allowing the coaches and the head coach to do what they need to do from a teaching standpoint, being able to have Tika James and her group with the writing in the end zone stuff, and just holding these kids a lot more accountable. We can't baby them and hold their hands. We have to hold them accountable. This is their career. This is their degree they're earning, not ours. So it's just holding guys accountable. And like we always say at CSM, is he our kind of guy? And that's what we talk about. Is he going to do what it takes in the off season? Is he going to do what it takes during the season? Is he going to be a guy with some integrity, some credibility, our kind of guy?
I like that. And my next question was, how do you identify a college player? Because there are kids out there that are graduating right now. They're in the process of graduating.
Yes.
They had a great season. They got the stats. But they got no offers, or they're not getting looked at, or they're being slept on, is what I see on.
Right.
They're being slept on.
Everybody's being slept on, yeah.
With the emoji and the C's.
Right. Basically, number one, we do not, and I repeat, we do not tell anyone that they can come in and be one and done. What we tell guys is you have the opportunity to come in and play for one of the best junior college football programs in the nation. Now, it's up to you if you're going to put the work in to become a starter or to transfer out. That's up to you. We can only provide you with the tools, and we have a great supporting cast.
Yeah. You haven't coached or high school?
Oh, I have coached high school. Yeah. I was offensive coordinator at Woodside High School for 2 years under Josh Bowie, who's actually a good friend of mine. We've been friends for, it's about 30 years now. And great guy. He's actually now the OC, the offensive coordinator at Woodside, and Justin Andrews is the head coach.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference between high school players and college players?
High school players, you pretty much get anybody out there. And guys, they just want to put on that jersey, and some of them
walk around with it on Fridays
exactly,
at school.
And that's what it is, or they still try to have mom come up there and, hey, why my son isn't playing? And, oh, well, your son missed practice for 2 weeks. I didn't know that. He told me he was at practice. So, Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest difference. And, you know, and a lot of it is similar, especially on a JC level, because you have guys that they're at junior college for a reason, be it grades, under-recruited, or, you know, many other different reasons they may be at the junior college level.
And when, what's the process like when an athlete joins the program? Is it always 100% everybody jumps on board, or do you guys have, you know, guys that end up dropping off, you know?
I mean, it's just like any program. It's a change. You have to be open-minded and willing to say, you know what, I'm going to try something different. What they've done in the past has worked for these hundreds of guys. Well, let me try it. And for those guys that don't come on board and they don't want to buy into the CSM way, then, hey, don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you, you know? And it's not that we're trying to be mean or anything, but we have a full team. We have, you know, 70 other guys that are looking to be coached, that are looking to do things the right way. We can't focus on that one or two guys that don't want to do it, that want to be outcasts.
It's always amazing to me how many seniors, like gonna be seniors, or seniors that is in the process of finishing up their senior season, kind of just realize right then and there that, man, did I do enough?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So as a former high school player, former high school coach, current college coach, let's talk to the freshmen, the sophomores. How early do they need to be thinking about playing at the next level? Or should they even be thinking about that?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, and this is just my opinion based, you know, I think you should, the day you step on a college, or excuse me, the day you step on a high school campus, you get your class schedule, and you know that you're going to be an athlete, be it football, basketball, baseball, anything, you need to be doing the right things, making sure you take care of your 18 core classes, making sure you've signed up for Ncaa clearinghouse, making sure you take the SAT, ACT. You know, these are all things that the kids should be doing from jump, you know, because it's so many times we see kids get into their senior year and then they look back to those freshman year grades and they got D's and, you know, and then they're like, oh, why am I not getting recruited? Well, you got all these D's over here in English and you needed 4 years of English. So, you know, I think the day, I know for my son and my kids, it's going to be the day they step, well, it's now, well, mine, it's now. My son is 4, so it's now. We're doing it now with him.
Yeah, well, he's going to have a head start.
Yeah.
You mentioned the clearinghouse. What is it again?
The Ncaa clearinghouse.
Ncaa clearing. I first heard that name mentioned in the Netflix series, The Last Chance U.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And,
Right.
and then I got really interested in it. But what is that? I mean, I'm sure some kids and parents don't know what that is.
So the Ncaa clearinghouse is basically a site that you need to be cleared through to play football in the Ncaa. And it has your SAT scores, your ACT scores, your transcripts, pretty much anything that has to do with you as a student.
And this is just football?
This is for all sports.
For all sports. Gotcha. Okay. What do you think of that show, by the way? I mean, you're a JC coach.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the show. I love it. I wish we could have played those guys.
Yeah. I think that
we need some TV time. The CSM, we need some TV time.
ESPN, go to Netflix, CSM and get some quality stuff. Come on, go to the West Coast. Yeah, I was thinking of that too, because I think what you guys have going on at CSM is really special, and the success is right there. Yeah. I mean, the two guys that stands out is Drew Brown in the last couple of years, just because we covered them a lot. Drew Brown and now Miles Kendrick.
Yeah. My guy, Sweetness. I call him the GOAT. That's Sweetness.
What an athlete, man.
Man, that's the magician.
You know what, too, though? He used to wrestle.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. That dude right there, man.
He told me he used to wrestle, and he almost became part of the Gilroy Mustangs, which is Gilroy's like 16 year CCS, 16 in a row, CCS title.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, no matter what no matter what, man, you probably would have done really well there too.
Man, that guy right there, I sent him a message, and I'll share it with everyone, but I sent him a message on Twitter maybe 2 days after he signed.
Yeah.
I said, hey, Sweetness, because that's what I call him. That's his Twitter handle. I said, go ahead and bring us back that Heisman, because I just believe that kid is just that good. From
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps listening to you, man. Look at this.
From a mental standpoint, from, playing on the field, he does everything you ask him to do. He does everything. I mean, to go from being the guy to losing the job in training camp and not starting the first 4 games to leading us to a NorCal championship, 2nd in the nation, and now he was one and done. He literally spent 4 months at CSM, and now he's playing in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. It's huge. It's huge.
And what's really cool about Miles is I saw him as a junior and senior.
Yeah.
And he was one of those kids that was just not underrated. I don't even know what the term is. Underrated, under-recruited. Everybody's keep bringing up the height.
Yeah, the height doesn't matter with that guy. You put a line in front of him, let him block, and you let him do what he needs to do.
And he was our game changer, for the entire season.
Yeah, he should have been.
He was our ultimate game changer.
Yeah.
So man, that's awesome. I mean, keep doing the great things you guys are doing over there. Yeah, now let's go back to you. What tell us a little bit more about your team and the athletes that we're going to see at the tournament. Our GSF tournament's coming up.
Yes.
7-on-7 tournament.
Can't wait for that March 3rd. So the Express 7 versus 7, I started the team in 2015. And that first team, man, I mean, I had Maurice Washington. I had Jordan Mims. Alton Julian, Rajon Wright. I mean, and you guys know these kids now.
Oh, yeah.
But back then, a lot of people didn't know them. And, Maurice just won Under Armour All-American Game MVP and signed to Nebraska. Jordan Mims is the starting running back at Fresno State. Alton's going to be doing great things.
Is he joining you guys?
Not sure yet. Still,
okay.
Holding out to see what kind of offer he gets.
Yeah.
Rajon Wright, same way. He has an offer from San Jose State. So we got guys, man, and we've had guys. So moving forward to this year, got some of the same kind of heat, Got the rookie or freshman sensation, Troy Franklin from Menlo Atherton. So he's a part of the team.
Maybe Julio.
Yeah, Darryl Page, the CCS Offensive Player of the Year.
2-time GSF Game of the Week MVP.
Man, that guy right there, you got to love a guy like that.
Great attitude, too.
Yeah,
he's
my goodness. Sometimes I just got to tell him, hey, man, you're not the coach, man. You're not the coach today. Relax. I got you, though, baby. and Justin Sinclair and
that's also, a playmaker right there, too.
Yeah, and also Malik Johnson, who's going to be an up-and-coming star for
he's going to be a beast.
St. Francis. Really good talent, on that team. We got a bunch of other kids too, a lot of younger underclassmen that's gonna make some noise. Jaden Barker, a kid who plays at Woodside Priory 8-man football, and he's a really talented kid, really great kid too.
How many? What's the difference between 8-man and like?
So 8-man in regular football, the difference is I believe they take out 3 positions, and I want to say it's 3 linemen.
Okay.
And the field is shorter by 20. It's 20 or either 10 yards. I think it's an 80 or 90, yard field.
Okay. They had a really good running back too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they did. Yes,
he was a beast. Did. I don't know where he's going.
I want to say his last name is Barnes. I want to say that's his last name.
I'm not
sure. Yeah.
He was running everywhere.
Oh yeah. He was pretty good. Yeah.
Well, the other question, since we're talking about 7-on-7, there's always, it's always there's always a battle as far as like some coaches thinks it's good, some coaches thinks it's not good. Obviously you have a team, obviously you believe in it, but just to defend the side of it being a benefit to athletes.
Well, let's start here. What is the only sport that doesn't go year-round? It's football. So we have a tool. These same coaches don't complain about AAU. They don't complain about travel baseball. They don't complain about travel soccer. You know, they complain about 7-on-7 because it's a control thing, when actuality it's not. We're trying to give these kids a chance to play more football, okay? Repetition is the father of learning. You're not going to get better at football by just watching football. You have to get out there and play it. And if we're taking away the physical aspect of it, why not put a kid in it? Why not have a kid come out and be better at the craft and be better at the sport he wants to play? I don't force my kids to play, and I don't take them away from their training they have at school. They just need to communicate with me that, hey, I'm at my football workouts. Hey, I'm doing this, or hey, I'm doing that.
When what's the process like for a student athlete to get involved with your organization?
Just contact me.
That seems to be the common answer there.
Just contact me, and you can get involved. Hit me up on my Instagram, Mr_EAJ, or my Twitter, same handle, Mr_EAJ, and just, you know, tell me what you're trying to do, where you want to go, what are your goals, because I can't create goals for you. All I can do is just help you achieve those goals.
A couple more questions. This has been really good right here. This is very informative. What are your goals, man? Speaking of goals, what are your goals?
My goals, ultimately being a one-stop shop. I want to be able to train athletes in my own facility, boys and girls, for all sports, train the total body. You know, one day be a coach, you know, a position coach or something on the Division I level. I don't want to be a head coach just because I don't want to deal with the politics of it. You know, and I wouldn't want my family to have to deal with that, you know, the moving, the up and down, you know, rigors. I know I know you still have to deal with it as a position coach, but sometimes the position coach, if they're really good at their job, they tend to, you know, stay on, you know, if a new head coach comes in. But, you know, the head coaches, they're in and out. They could be 1 year and gone, you know, and that's moving a whole family. So those are some of my goals. You know, the other ones, the detailed ones, I kind of keep them to myself, you know, and as I achieve them, I kind of just check them off.
When where did you go to college again?
Fort Hays State, and then transferred to Mid-America Nazarene University.
That is in?
Olathe, Kansas.
Kansas.
15 minutes outside of Kansas City.
And you came back to the Silicon Valley because?
Yes, because I love it. This is where I'm from. This is where I'm most needed. These are my people, and I just love this area.
And last but not least, what would be your message to the high schoolers out there listening to this, and the parents? What would be your main message?
Don't try to put the horse before the carriage. You know, respect the process. I live by it and I die by it. I wear it on my wrist every day. Respect the process. We all have a process we going through. And if you respect it, then everything that comes along with it, be it good, bad, or indifferent, you just keep grinding, keep pushing. I don't believe in plan Bs. Here's why. It should never be a plan B. It should just be a plan A, which is a plan A and an extension of plan A. You know, plan A1. Plan A2, plan A3. So if you don't go to a 4-year straight out of high school, what's your next step? Think about that. That should always be in the back of your mind. You know, if you do make it, what are your goals when you get there? What are we trying to do? Are we just going to play football, or are we going to try to get a degree? You know, are we going to try to make a difference? So ultimately, just respect the process, enjoy what you and your family is going through, and just apply yourself as much as possible.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you making the time to do this. This is not the only time we're going to do this. We're going to do this again.
Nice.
You know, and what one of our main goals with this segment is to really be in touch with the coaching community, and you know, we want to hear what you guys have to say, because I know there's a lot of message. A lot of times when we do features on you guys, we cut it up into pieces. Right. You don't really hear it, you know. Right. And I think doing it this way really gives an opportunity for you to communicate to the parents and the student athletes that are out there. Again, thank you so much. And
yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming to the barbershop and hanging with us.
That's right. We'll be back here. I want to see the Friday night special that you guys do here.
Yes, sir.
So, all right.
All right.
We out.
Thank you.